Okay,
All right,
we are live.
we are. Welcome, everyone. Been a little while since we just last talked, so as you may or may not remember, I'm Chris Novak, joined along with Rob O'Neill. We should be having another guest here. Fellow editor Pierce Roberson should be joining us soon.
Yep.
We're here to talk about the Big East tournament as well as a few other things. I'm personally exhausted. Hopefully, we'll be able to be competent through here. I've had a long day. I was in New York earlier today. Finding out some cool things, meeting some cool people. So that was all fun.
Yeah.
It was all very fun.
Yeah. You get to do all the cool stuff out there.
I do. Whenever anything cool happens in New York, I'm there for it. So
Even though you're not going to the Big East tournament.
I'm not, and I'm not going to the NCAA tournament if it's in Brooklyn either. So I just decided to do what I did today, which was.
But we will have people at the Big East tournament, and we might have people in Brooklyn.
It depends. But we will definitely be having people in New York for the Big East tournament the whole way. So that's always fun.
Yes. So let's just jump right in. Talk about the awards that came out the other day. There's more awards coming tomorrow.
Yep, but the other awards came out on Monday, that being Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Most Improved Player, which went to Ben Bentel, which should not surprise anybody out there.
No, I don't think that one we even need to talk about.
No, that one just is like just a nod and a passing glance. Like, yep, okay, cool. Anyways, on to Defensive Player of the Year. Chris Dunn won the award. Not all that surprising either. He's probably the best on-ball defender in the conference. If I had to pick anyone else to win, and I guess I would take Daniel Ochefu because he was very good off the ball. But Dunn did so many good things to defend in terms of defense that it was very hard to argue against anyone else for the award.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Sixth Man of the Year, a little bit of a surprise. I thought it was going to go James Farr. Went to JP Macura. I figured it was going to one of them. We kind of figured that Keelan Martin was going to be ineligible at this point.
Yeah, he obviously started a lot down the stretch, 11 games to be precise. Before that, he was Butler's sixth man, and had he stayed as the sixth man, I think he may have wound up winning the award in a landslide. But then again, we don't really know how things would have panned out. But he was playing very well.
I mean, if he stayed a sixth man, Butler might miss the tournament. So
yeah, exactly. So it kind of worked out well for both parties there. Martin got more time to get reps and flourish, and Butler was able to succeed because of that. But yeah, Macura winning the Sixth Man of the Year award isn't that surprising. But I guess I would have thought it would have been James Farr just because of how much he excelled in his senior season this year. As a rebounding machine, pretty good defensively too. But they decided to give it to Macura, and I don't really have any issue with that, though. So
no, I mean the last month, JP Macura has been fantastic. Whereas Farr, it was kind of I don't know. Are the awards just for conference play, or are they for the whole year?
Whole year.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I saw someone say that they're just for conference play, and that didn't sound right.
No, not at all. That's not how it works at all.
No.
So.
All right, first team. No surprises on the first team, really.
No, not really at all.
Whitehead, Hart, Blewett, Bentel, Ellenson, which that's pretty much what we had. I mean, we kept it to 5 whenever we were asked, and I think we wouldn't have Blewett on usually.
That's correct. But it was the other 5 who were on mine. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Just heard from Pierce. He'll be in about 15 minutes, so we will just hold the fort down until he gets here.
Yep, so that works. Okay.
All Big East second team, not a ton of surprises here either. Mo Watson, DSR, Ryan Arcidiacono, Keelan Martin, Roosevelt Jones. Keelan Martin's the only actual forward of that group. But they called Roosevelt Jones a forward too.
Yep, which he's a guard, he's a forward, he's everything.
So. Butler fans were not thrilled at Kellen Dunham not getting on the second team.
Yeah, they weren't, and I guess I see their point because I'm not sure DSR did much to, deserve to be on there. But
Kellen Dunham was really bad the first half of the conference schedule, though.
Yeah, he did have a slump, which probably hurt him a bit. But he did wind up finishing with some better numbers or comparable numbers to DSR, and he was much better player per 40 and per 100 possessions. I don't know how much coaches or whatever factor that.
You know what? Kellen Dunham's team's going to the NCAA tournament. DSR team isn't.
Yeah,
So
DSR's team may not even make the NIT. So
yeah, that's something we can maybe talk about in a minute here.
yeah, it could be. But
Anyway, the honorable mentions wrapped up with Delgado and Ochefu. I would have been fine with one of them going on the second team as an actual forward.
Same here.
Mainly Ochefu because I think he might have been better this year than Keelan Martin.
He might have been. Yeah, I can see that. But
all freshman team, which I didn't actually think the Big East had. That's on
I
me.
didn't either, but that's okay.
I don't remember it from last year.
I don't either.
It was all Seton Hall last year.
Might have been.
Sumner,
and Trayvon Blewett.
Yeah. Sumner, Brunson, Eli Kane, Cheatham, Ellenson, Yaqua, and Jesse Govan. I believe that's kind of how ours is going to look.
Yeah, it probably is. I'm a little surprised that and this is no real slight to Brunson as much as it's propping up Sumner and Ellenson. I'm a little surprised that Brunson was the unanimous choice for the all-freshman team. Just because I wouldn't say he underperformed. I just don't think that he was in the stratosphere that Sumner and Ellenson.
Wait, are you saying those other two weren't unanimous, or?
No, they were.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying I'm not sure that Brunson should have been unanimous because the other two were so great. And
I think probably Hanif Cheatham should have been unanimous. We've talked about him on here a lot.
I think the only unanimous choices should have been Sumner and Ellenson because they were just so far away ahead of everybody in the field. They just kicked everybody else's ass.
Yeah,
as a freshman. So
yeah. So yeah, those were those awards. I mean, we could do our picks for the awards tomorrow, right now, and then have Pierce do his when he gets here, just to buy some time.
That's fair.
I know we filled out the ballots. I don't fully remember mine off the top of my head. Let me go into the sheet here. I don't think it saves your ballot. But I don't want to start. I don't want to start Player of the Year.
Do you remember what the order of ballots were when you voted?
I was one of the first ones. Well, let's see. I can kind of figure it out by just checking my.
Did you vote Chris Dunn as Player of the Year?
No.
All right,
I voted for Josh Hart. Spoilers.
You voted for Josh Hart. Okay, yes. I voted for Josh Hart as well. So you must be number 5.
Okay.
Or you're number 7. Were you number 7? Were you this late?
No, I think I did it on one of the first couple days.
All right, Josh Hart. Let me look through these choices. Josh Hart, Henry Ellenson.
Yep.
Ishmael Sanogo.
No.
Because this is not you. Okay. This was me. Josh Hart, Henry Ellenson, Chris Dunn, James Farr.
This sounds like me, yes.
Ellenson, this is my ballot. So yeah. Ellenson, Bentel, Dunn, Hart, Whitehead. So you were 7. I don't really know. Hart, Ellenson, Dunn, Farr, Ellenson, Bentel, Dunn, Hart, Whitehead, Jones, Watson, Ochefu, Desi, and Trayvon Blewett.
Yeah,
Is that yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Rob's ballot, everybody. Mine was similar. Josh Hart, Ellenson, Dunn, Farr, Ellenson, Bentel, Dunn, Hart, Whitehead for the first team. Second team, Martin, Watson, Ochefu, Farr, and Blewett.
Yeah, so just getting more into Player of the Year, we ended up with the same one, Josh Hart. I wrote about it earlier today, how he doesn't have the flashiest numbers, but he is in the top 10 of pretty much every category. Just I'm not going to read directly what I wrote, but lives in the mid-range. Such like that.
Yep.
I think Whitehead is a good choice. I think my problem with voting Dunn or Bentel is I don't know which one means more to their team.
Yeah, so they may split votes.
So that was tough for me. Defense Player of the Year, Chris Dunn, wasn't close. I don't think it'll be close in our voting.
I don't think so either.
Freshman of the Year, Henry Ellenson, that should be nearly unanimous, if not unanimous, in our voting. Because I actually looked at the numbers yesterday. It was the best freshman season in, I don't know if it's arguable, since Carmelo.
Yeah, pretty much was.
And, I'm not sure I wouldn't consider taking Henry Ellenson over Ben Simmons in the draft.
That's definitely an intriguing opinion.
Yeah. Coach of the year, Chris Mack. I have him as National Coach of the Year. So, really, if Kevin Willard coached in any other conference or in any other season, he would have been my pick. But I'm not going to. There are some people who be like, oh, well, if Chris Mack's getting National Coach of the Year, he doesn't need Big East Coach of the Year. That's not how that works.
No, that's not how it works.
It's like the people that say if a pitcher wins MVP, you can give someone else Cy Young.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
We do have 2 full all-freshman teams.
We do.
So that was something cool that we did.
Yep.
What else can we touch on before Pierce gets here?
I don't know.
Well, that's not helpful. I know I got to lead this because you were, busy all day.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been talking about too. All that happened today. So
how your Jerome picks doing?
Terrible, and I forgot to send in my second week of ballots. So
I mean, actually, just looking here, I think you're the only one in the Big East Coast bias pool that doesn't have a winner yet.
Yeah, fun. I'm terrible at picking. So
see, I took Iona because that was
everyone else took Monmouth, and you probably figured, okay, let me just be different so I can possibly win.
I had mine in first.
Mm-hmm.
I oversee the sheet.
It's true, you do. You did make the sheet.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, all I really have to talk about is all that happened today, and I really don't feel like going on a freaking tangent because that's all I do.
Better for our NCAA tournament show.
Yeah, which I'm still talking about that in a week.
That'll be.
I mean, I can't myself. Of course, I'm going to be still talking about it in a week.
When's the first 4? First 4 Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Okay.
Next Tuesday.
We will be here probably Monday night. I don't want to do a selection Sunday night show because we're going to be dead.
We're going to be dead. So yeah, next Tuesday in Dayton, Andrew Catalon, Steve Lapis, and Jamie Erdahl on Tuesday. So
we'll go up against Raw.
Yay! We'll probably get more. We'll probably get better ratings. Yes. Well, at least we could get better ratings than Total Divas. So
that's not hard though.
That's sinking ship. Yeah, that cost like $400,000 to make a show, and they drew 591,000 people last week. So they're approaching the amount it costs equaling their ratings.
Yeah,
what a shit show. To borrow a line from Gina Morosco of KJ Seats, what a stupid show.
Yeah.
Stupid show. You can actually legitimately say that because it's a stupid show and no one's watching anymore because it's a stupid show and doesn't portray any positive stereotypes about anybody. So it does literally no one any favors.
We could dig into some of our questions, I guess.
We could.
Pierce should be here any minute, but yeah, I don't want to just sit here and talk about nothing. I mean, unless you want to talk about anything that happened Saturday, but nothing really
of note happened on Saturday. So
I mean, everything went as expected.
Yep.
Let's see. Is the Ken Palm All Big East first team different than the actual one? Probably.
I know his player of the year is Josh Hart. So
Josh Hart was in his National Player of the Year conversation for a while.
Yeah, he was. The Big East All Ken Palm team is Josh Hart, Isaiah Whitehead, Daniel Lechefu, Ben Bentel, and Chris Dunn. I can't really argue that. It's a solid team. 2 guards. Well, 3 guards actually. 2 forwards and 1 center. 1 forward and 1 center.
By the way, if you have a chance to not watch the noon game on Thursday, which is Villanova against Georgetown or DePaul, don't watch it. We're watching it because we have to.
God.
But that's
he
not.
Usually does it.
It's not going to be a good game. It's just. I mean, you saw what Villanova did to Georgetown. We saw what they did to DePaul.
It did.
I mean, Big East finished with a .544 winning percentage at home, which was 26 of 32 conferences, but for a while they were under 500.
They were. Yeah, home teams were pretty bad in Big East play, but they kind of turned it around after a little while.
Only 13 of 90 games were within 4 points.
Jesus.
And 15 of 90 were greater than 19 points.
Mm.
Did you watch the ACC game earlier? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I was probably on a train ride back from New York.
Yeah, NC State won.
Oh, nice.
Big East just announced some new sponsors.
Yeah, Jeep is one of them.
Yeah, we knew that, though, because they got that commercial with Gus and Raph.
Yep.
Jeep's cool. Jeep will... Does this mean that Hershey's and there's not going to be a Reese's thing there anymore?
That would be a shame.
I don't... It says the Jeep's... I'm not seeing Hershey on the thing.
Well, that's lame as hell.
Jeep is the new main sponsor, so... Is there like a mascot of a Jeep? Because big part of the Big East tournament was always the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup guy.
Yep. Great thing, but doesn't look like it anymore, which is unfortunate.
It's time to move on.
Evidently so.
Ooh, I know what we could talk about. Kevin Willard just taking shots at other conferences yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that was really funny. It was really funny.
Calling them tourists in New York or something.
Yep.
So the Big Ten, the ACC, they think they're all... Why is the ACC... Why are they in D.C. this year?
Because Maryland.
Maryland left, though.
Oh, no. Well, then I don't. Sorry.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Because we're in prime time, you can't say things like that.
Oh, if only we were on FX, I could drop whatever I wanted.
Yeah, you guys watching People vs. O.J. Simpson yet?
Yeah, they're dropping bombs everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to just jump right into the Big East tournament because we're going to have to go over it all again with Pierce, but...
Yep, we're just kind of laboring here.
What else? What's been going on?
I don't know, man. Nothing that I haven't already figured out today, so... Brian Anderson got a big promotion, a huge promotion, actually. One that I wasn't...
Also, signed an extension with the Brewers, so he will be doing more Marquette. Well, not more Marquette games, but still doing Marquette games.
He's got a lot to be happy about today. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
He bumped in number 2 crew. Living at number 6 last year with Steve Smith. Him and Steve. That both of them got bumped up to number 2. And Dana Jacobson, who filled in late in Pittsburgh last year, got bumped up to the number 2 crew as well. So
yeah,
snap. Big day for BA, and I'm not really surprised. And I know people are like, "Oh, well, Ian Eagle should get his due." Well, see, the thing is, Westwood 1 probably wants to keep Eagle doing regionals for them, so because he's one of their signature voices on their stations.
Mm-hmm.
So they are probably just, making sure that he stays with them.
Did they announce the Final Four crew today too, or?
Yeah, it's going to be Nance, Raftery, and Hill again, and Wolfson. So,
and then
Raf gets to do the Final Four for the second straight year.
I know they're doing the team streams or whatever it is too.
Yep, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
all that fun stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Nance, Raftery, Hill, Wolfson is the first crew. I said I was going to talk about this, so I don't care. Anderson, we have to fill time. Sorry, folks. I know you're probably interested in it anyway. Brian Anderson, Steve Smith, and Dana Jacobson's the number 2 crew. BA getting promotion after likely the Elite 8 performance he had last year in spontaneous fashion. Plus, Turner probably had a say in that, I bet. Third crew, Vern, Jim Spinarco, Ali LaForce. Great crew. Continuity from last year. I think maybe 2 years. I don't remember though. I don't remember if Raft did the. No, yeah, he was the Cardinal. That's right.
Little SEC on CBS football continuity too.
Yeah. I talked about that with Ali today. That was fun. The differences between preparing for a football game, between preparing for a college basketball game in the NCAA tournament. Hint: there are a lot.
Yeah.
Fourth crew was Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, Dan Bonner, and Lewis Johnson. Lewis Johnson getting a bump. I talked about all this in the announcer post you may or may not have read yet. And then it's Eagle, Weber, Elmore, and Evan Washburn. Then it is number 6 crew now, I believe, is Spirodita, Doug Gottlieb, and Roscoe on or I'm probably going to watch that. I'm so sorry. She's the replacement for Rachel Nichols, who, of course, departed for ESPN last year. 7th crew is Catalan Lapis and Jamie Erdahl, who debuted last year as the number 8 crew. They got bumped up. And the number 8 crew is Carter Blackburn, who expectedly got a promotion. Then Mike Jaminski and Jamie Maggio, who surprisingly bumped down to the number 8 crew after being at the number 8 crew for a few years and then getting up to the number 7 crew for the last 2, and then now she's all of a sudden number 8.
She got her Lakers thing, though.
She's had her Lakers thing for the last 2 years, though.
That's a sweet gig, though.
I mean, yeah,
not so much here, but
she does all sorts of studio stuff for them. But it's interesting to me because she hasn't done a thing with Turner all year.
Yeah.
And now she's the number 8 person. Like, I don't want to speculate or read between the lines too much, but there might be something there.
And you might notice no Gus Johnson. He's not allowed to do games.
Of course, because he's not with CBS anymore.
I know. Well, someone asked it earlier.
God. Well, that's because he has a contract with Fox.
Well, don't alienate the readers.
Well, I'm just saying that's how things work. He's not like Raft, and he doesn't have the double contract going.
You want to talk about this Big East 3-on-3 thing real quick?
Sure.
It's a cool thing. Well, the Big East men's basketball account, friends of our site, they came up with this all-time Big East 3-on-3 squad. It's like those things that were big that you get $15 or whatever. Everyone has a dollar amount. Same type of thing here. You can't exceed 9 points. Your guards from 5 points to 1 point are Iverson, Kerry Kittles, Terry DeHeer, Randy Foy, and Bryce Cotton. Your forwards are Mullen, Walter Berry, Doug McDermott, Jeff Green, Jay Crowder. Then your centers are Ewing, Lonzo, Mutombo, Ed Pickney, and Simon Dallenberg.
It's pretty tough. I'm not going to lie to you.
I went with Bryce Cotton, Doug McDermott, and Patrick Ewing because it's really got everything you need right there. But
yep.
I think a team with you go Iverson, McDermott, Dallenberg. You go Iverson, Crowder, Mutombo.
It's pretty good. Both of those are pretty good.
Yeah. So that was interesting. We're gonna have to just start talking about the Big East tournament. I mean.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. After putting it off, well, we weren't putting it off. I mean,
Yeah, we're just kind of laboring, but we won't labor anymore. It's fine.
Speaking of the Big East tournament, if you're watching this, Google the Big East tournament. Google Big East tournament right now.
And look who's near the top.
It's us. People are really into the bracket and schedule.
Yeah, well, people will flock to that.
Tomorrow night, get going. DePaul and Georgetown at 7 Eastern. And this is not where Georgetown thought they were going to be.
Nope. And, if DePaul beats them again, like they did 2 years ago, just say the Fire John Thompson III chatter is going to get a little bit louder in the fan base and the alumni. Rightfully so or not. It's not going to be good for the optics.
No.
It's not going to be good for the optics. Georgetown, I don't know if I would say they're in a must-win situation, but if they lose, it's only gonna light a bigger match there.
The thing I don't really get about Georgetown basketball, just as a program, is why they don't reach out to a guy like Allen Iverson and just put him on the staff somewhere.
I don't either. It makes no sense. It's a great recruiting method right there, especially for point guards, because he's had such an impact. And by now, you're recruiting. you're recruiting kids who, grew up watching Allen Iverson.
Yeah, exactly.
And have the tangible impact that he did. Because an 18-year-old in 2017, he was born in what? Like, why am I so bad with math right now?
1999.
1999. Oh my God, that sounds so scary to say. That sounds so scary to say. We're gonna start having kids who were born in the year 2000.
Yeah.
Playing college basketball very soon. But yeah, I don't get why they don't have him on staff. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it'd be a good idea.
You would think, but evidently.
Georgetown and DePaul actually played a couple somewhat close games.
They did.
Georgetown beat them both times. Ken Palm's got Georgetown. I think I would take Georgetown.
I would, but I would do so cautiously.
Yeah.
That kind of says a lot, but I would do so cautiously.
I know DePaul went to DC, and it was actually a close game for most of it. Georgetown ended up winning by 11, but DePaul led in the first half. I know. I remember. And then Marquette St. John's, I really do think that you got to take Marquette here.
Yeah.
And Marquette suddenly, they're projected as a 6th right now in the NIT, and that NIT bubble's starting to
fill up
with all these 1 seeds in the smaller conference tournaments losing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Marquette needs to get a win or at least 1 win, I'd say. I mean, if they lose to St. John's, they're in some trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, losing to Xavier on Thursday, there'd be no shame. But losing this game that'd be bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Thursday, like I said, the noon game will be your Georgetown DePaul winner against Villanova. Villanova's 2-0 against both of them. Don't think they played a particularly close game of any of the total 4.
Nope.
Well, when they went to DC, they beat Georgetown because Georgetown had a late run, though. That's what that was.
Yeah.
And then when Georgetown came to Philadelphia the other day,
they beat the stuffing out of them.
And then they went to the Horizon and played DePaul. Their first game is number 1 when I was there.
That was a beatdown.
That was a beatdown. Then they beat down DePaul again in Philadelphia. Or was that? Is that the Pavilion?
That was at the Pavilion.
Yeah.
That was on
That was the other day.
Yeah, I think that was on a Sunday, right?
A Tuesday.
That yeah.
Last Tuesday.
Yeah, that was
that was they won by 20.
Yeah, they won by a lot. I'm just trying to remember what went on that day.
Chris Jenkins had 31.
There was another game on that day that was big. What the hell was it? It was Seton Hall Butler was on Wednesday, right?
Tuesday had Marquette Georgetown.
Then I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I don't think they're.
Y'all gotta understand. I'm on less than 5 hours of sleep. I walked a ton in New York upstairs. I'm out of shape. It sucked. Sounds like we have a.
Yeah, we got audio, but.
Yeah, we got audio. We don't have video.
Yeah, I'm here, guys. Hey, we're on the traffic stop to the NCAA tournament, Maggle. 10 teams all vying for an automatic bid to the tournament. I'm excited. Chris, you seem like you're excited.
I am definitely very excited. I'm just very tired today, that's all.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
This is going to be the most excited I've been about the tournament since this new incarnation of the Big East has taken place. I think we have 2 teams that, at the end of the tournament can very well be number 1 seeds if Xavier beats Nova in the championship game. You got a lot of intrigue when it comes to bubble team like Butler. Creighton's not in yet. Creighton has work to do. So I'm excited for these next 4 days of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, even tomorrow night, you don't have the best matchups, but you could see a team like DePaul getting one over on Georgetown. I mean, probably easier than you could see St. John's getting one over on Marquette, but it's like it's been all year. It's a very close conference.
Absolutely.
I think the only one that is deeper than the Big East is obviously the Big 12. And even in the quarterfinals, got some good games. But even tomorrow, I'm excited for that Georgetown DePaul game because it's kind of the same scenario as it was 2 years ago. Nobody's really looking at 9-win DePaul to beat Georgetown as bad as Georgetown has been this year. But Dave Leitao back in the Big East tournament, he's going to send his boys out fighting. And this is also DSR's last Big East tournament. Barring some unforeseen circumstance, I don't see Georgetown making a postseason tournament. So this is going to be the last that we see Devon Smith Rivera. So, we got a lot to enjoy for these, for even the Wednesday games.
Yeah, and really a big game that we know about Thursday already. Butler Providence is looking to have some big implications. I know Julian already said that they're both in, but the loser might get a little worried when the first four comes around.
What were we talking about?
Butler Providence.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah, that I don't know if I think it would be. I'd honestly be more worried if I were Butler than I were Providence. Providence at least has their start to their season to their credit, and I guess so does Butler. But Butler certainly had a bigger hole to dig themselves out of. It's just that Providence dug themselves into it. They recently got themselves out of it, but again they beat Creighton, DePaul, and St. John's. So.
Yeah. Just curious, while you're here, who do you have for Big East Player of the Year?
Say that one more time.
Who do you have for Big East Player of the Year this year?
I had to go back and forth between Dunn and Ben Till, and Isaiah Whitehead made a late push. Chris Jenkins is in there. I have to go Chris Dunn. I haven't seen a player like this in the Big East in a while. A point guard that has size, athleticism, quickness. He's phenomenal on defense. He reminds me of Dwayne Wade. He's Dwayne Wade in the Northeast. And for my money, I have to go with Chris Dunn.
All right.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think Jay Billis made the Dwayne Wade comparison too at some point, and you do see it after you watch both of them for a little bit.
You watch him play defense, and it's stifling what he's able to do to a lot of guys on the court. His tops is very reminiscent of an early D Wade coming up in Miami, and just his entire facet of the game. And hey, Ben Tillis had a tremendous season. I believe he was most improved player, if I'm not mistaken. He's had a phenomenal year, and so has Isaiah Whitehead. And I did not expect that surge from Isaiah Whitehead and Seton Hall towards the end of the year. Usually they crumble and they fold. Whitehead put the team on his back, so he deserves a lot of credit for that. But at the end of the day, I have to go with Dunn.
All right. We're not going to break down every game because we got a lot of them that we got questions about here. So just real quick, who do you two have meeting in the championship?
I'm sorry, I'm on a really crappy headset right now, so it's hard to. I'm kind of getting in and out. So if I ask to repeat that, I apologize. Yeah.
Just what's your championship matchup for the Big East tournament?
It's relatively going to depend on the seeding. I can say if Marquette gets to the quarterfinals and they somehow beat Xavier, meaning if Henry Ellison somehow beats Xavier, that really shakes a lot of things up. I still have Nova and Xavier in the finals, and I think we saw a different Xavier team in that rematch, albeit at home. We saw what that team could look like with Edmund Sumner playing more than 5 minutes. It's going to be a good game. I would say Xavier in my championship game over Nova.
As for me, I honestly think that Seton Hall is going to make a run. I think they're going to ruin the demand for Villanova Xavier 3. I think they knock off Xavier in the semifinals after taking care of business against Creighton. And on the other end, I think Villanova just takes care of business against either Georgetown or DePaul. They beat Providence or Butler in a pretty close game, and as they have in their last few encounters, with the exception, of course, of the defeat that Providence handed them back at the Wells Fargo Center. But Villanova routinely does not lose in New York. I think the last loss that they had in New York was that loss to Seton Hall in the 2014 quarterfinals, and then of course they lost in Buffalo to UConn. But New York State, and New York City was a little bit different. So, but I think when it comes down to it, when you have Villanova versus Seton Hall in the finals, I'm taking Villanova to win. A little chalky, but that's just how I feel about it. So,
Xavier's had their 3 worst defensive games just all in a row here. You guys worried about that at all?
Yeah, that would be my main concern. They would have the toughest road to get into the finals. You're stacking up Marquette, possibly Seton Hall, more likely Seton Hall, and then Nova to get the automatic bid. But I think Chris Mack, he really has his guys in tune with his philosophy and what he wants to do on the court, and it's shown all year. 26 wins, tying for the most in program history. He really has them locked in at the right moment, and I think that any given game, a Marquette or a Seton Hall could beat them, but Xavier looks so good and so crisp right now that I have them going all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, their defense leaking of late is a little concerning, especially since that was one of their strengths to start the year. I don't particularly like that they're doing that, because that was one of the biggest reasons why I thought that they were a legitimate, Elite Eight, Final Four contender. But if they're going to play defense in the way that they have of late, they're probably not going to get to that point. Especially if they match up with a team that can really go punch for punch with them and could possibly outscore them. And especially considering the fact that they're probably closer to the 2 line than they are the 1 line, unless things dramatically change in the Big East tournament. So they'll have to face tougher opponents en route to the Sweet 16, the Final Four, of course. They'll have to face a 7 or a 10 who could burn them. I don't particularly like some matchups that they could wind up facing if that's the case. So they need to definitely shore up their defensive efforts going forward here. Otherwise, they are going to be toast.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. They definitely got to bring it up a little bit, especially because they might end up facing Seton Hall again if they can beat Marquette. Seton Hall or Creighton would be their next opponent, and we saw what season they did to them. Definitely.
And we also saw what Creighton did to them earlier in the season, and they kept pace with them this past Saturday. They wound up losing, but they still wouldn't go away. So
no, I mean Creighton had 93 points against them on Saturday. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're just going to jump into questions here because we got a bunch of them.
All right, sounds good.
Who can make a run in the tournament that no one expects? I know, Pierce, you said Marquette already. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and take Creighton because it really depends. Maurice Watson, we saw the other day he was kind of playing through injury, but if he's recovered, he's good to go. They're going to be tough out. And I mean, like we said, they just scored 93 against Xavier. Even in a loss, they're ready to go.
Yeah, I think when you can come out. I'm sorry, Chris.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I think when you can come out and put up that kind of offensive scoring output, you can definitely shock some teams in this tournament. Maurice Watson and Jeff Grosel inside, I think he hasn't got enough respect in terms of how he's been able to change this starting lineup for Creighton. If there's any team, and I'll put them over Marquette, if there's any team that's able to make a run, it would be Creighton.
Yeah, I have to agree with the sentiment on Marquette. I suppose it's mostly because Henry Ellenson could possibly go off, and if he does have the ability to probably carry the Golden Eagles to a decent run that maybe not many people are necessarily expecting, since everyone's pretty much thinking, oh, it's just going to be, it's Villanova versus Xavier in the final, or Seton Hall could, make a charge, or Chris Dunn and Ben Bentel could help fuel Providence or whatever. But Marquette obviously finishing 7th in the Big East. They're kind of under the radar. They're in that matchup against St. John's tomorrow night. So yeah, I think Marquette's the easy choice there for unexpected team that could make a run and cause chaos.
And on Marquette, I'm not openly rooting for a team to win this, but inside, I'm really hoping Henry Ellison dominates, and by some strange way, Marquette is able to get an automatic bid. Because there's no way at the beginning of the season that you were able to tell me that Ben Simmons and Harry Ellison would not be playing in the NCAA tournament. One of them has to go. for the sake of my sanity, one of them has to go.
Yeah. All right, 15 seconds left, down by 2. Which coach do you want and which player do you want in the Big East? I think the player has to be Chris Dunn, but, I'll open it up to you guys. But coach, I don't actually know.
You want to go first on this, Pierce?
I want to say Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn would be the logical choice. But Isaiah White has stones. He's got some stones. And if the clock is ticking down, give me the kid. Give me Whitehead. I'll be different and go Whitehead.
That's fair. I can actually agree with that. I'll go with Whitehead as well. Away from the obvious pick of Chris Dunn. As far as coach goes, Chris Mack has had a knack for having good baseline out of bounds plays and sideline out of bounds plays, so I'm going to go with Chris Mack as my coach.
Yeah, I think if you're bringing the ball up, probably Jay Wright might be a guy. But if you are running an out-of-bounds play, it would probably have to be Chris Mack.
You also got to give respect to shooters. Kellen Dunham can pull it up from range if you give him the opportunity. So, Kellen Dunham, Archie Diacono, you got to give some respect to the shooters in that essence as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Team on the Villanova side of the bracket that they don't want to face. I think it has to be Providence just because they beat them already. But what do you guys think?
I'll go with Providence.
Yeah, I'll go with Providence too. Though Butler has kept it close, they've held leads against them. It could get dangerous if things start to pan out their way. But yeah, since Providence does have a win over them, I'll say Providence for that sake.
And then the team on the Xavier side, I think, has to be Seton Hall.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Let's see. Worst Thursday game, noon or 9:30 p.m.?
Noon.
Yeah, I'm gonna say noon because being in Central Time, that's 11 o'clock. And I'm usually only have to worry about that on Saturdays, but now I gotta be up and functioning by then. On a Thursday, I don't care about the 9:30 game because that's kind of when most of them start if they do a doubleheader every week.
Yeah, I think I'm more inclined to hate the noon one. I'm going to try to be up for the noon one. No promises.
Who has more to prove in the Providence-Butler game? I don't know.
I don't either.
I think Butler has proved a lot in the last month because they were 3-6 at the halfway point. So it might be Providence just because they've struggled down the stretch more than Butler.
Yeah,
I think I agree with that.
Providence has been inconsistent at times this year. I know I'm going to get a lot of angry emails from Providence fans after this. But yeah, when you're playing a team like Butler, and I think Butler actually has an edge on Providence because they are great at all facets of offense, from outside with Kellen Dunham and also inside with Roosevelt Jones. You got two seniors on that squad that they want to go out hungry. I think that they would want it more than that Providence team, the way that Providence team has played over the last month and a half.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, thinking 5 Big East games in the tournament at this point?
Four
Pretty
are
much,
locks.
yeah.
4 are locks. It could be up to 5 or 6.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's good. And obviously, the big thing is getting more of them out of the first weekend.
Yep, exactly.
That's about it here. I mean, unless you guys have anything else you want to touch on starting but
Because I came in late, are we all in agreement that Henry Ellison is freshman of the year? Or are we gonna give anybody else some love for that?
I think the only person you could possibly give love to is Edmund Sumners, but yeah, I think Henry Ellison's definitely going to be the runaway freshman of the year winner.
And I think Sumner would have had a good shot to win if he had not missed what was the week and a half from the injury.
Yeah.
So I'll go Ellison on that.
Yeah, no, Ellison's had actually the best freshman season since Carmelo, so you got to give it to him.
Here's hoping Wojo can pull more 5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. They've got a solid class for next year. I mean, they don't have the big name like Ellison, but they'll be good next year. And, the guys they got this year are going to keep developing, and I think Marquette's team to watch out for next year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, since they'll probably bring back Cheatham, they'll have
Carter.
They'll have Carter. They'll have Hauser.
One more year of Luke Fisher.
Yep. Yeah, they're in a good position right now. They're in a good position to make moves, but then again, so is some of the rest of the Big East. So we'll see how that plays itself out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll about do it. We were a little abbreviated today, but we just had the one thing to talk about. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow we have our awards, we have the actual awards, and we have basketball.
So that's all pretty fun.
Yeah. They're extremely excited for this weekend. These next couple weeks of college basketball, especially watching Chris Dunn, Isaiah Whitehead, I'm so stoked. I'm incredibly stoked. Let's get to it.
Yeah. Pierce, we're thinking Monday night if you can come back for the NCAA tournament preview.
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
Certainly.
We're going to go up against Raw, so.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to waste my time with that. Especially after the DUI stop to WrestleMania on Saturday, I don't think I'm going to waste my time. So I'll be here with you guys on this Monday.
All right.
Cool.
So, yeah, that'll about do it here. Big thanks to Pierce for joining us. Just keep checking Big East Coast Bias. We got exciting stuff coming for you. Take care, everybody.